Actual notebook. I wanted to do a pro wrestler bit. Well, nice to meet all of you. Oh, wonderful. My name's Abby Denton. What's your name?
I'm single.
Of the Kraft family. They do it last name first in that country. It's very nice to meet you, young person. How's everybody doing tonight? Woo! You don't look doing good enough. Smile. Fake smile. You, fake smile. Wider? Well, thank you. Thank you very much. That was immensely gratifying. Please, let's give a warm round of applause for the leaf of the senna plant. What? Senna. It's good for what ails ya. Senna with fronds like these. Who needs enemas? Kill me. So, it's been a pretty good week. I finally told my partner about my schoolgirl fantasy. I'm sure you know the one where you sit alone at lunch, stress over math, and feel ashamed of your body. I guess we're really getting into like the role-playing side of things, and just being like the person in my third period English class who doesn't know my name and never really looks at me or says a word to me, because we haven't spoken since. We're doing great. I want to talk to you kids tonight about something very, very close to my heart. It's called phallocentricity. It's one of the greatest problems afflicting the nation, and I'm going to drop some academia. Are you one of my professors?
Me?
No, I'm sorry, never mind, I guess not. Well, going to drop some academia on you guys. Phallocentricity. I had a pronunciation guide down here. Well, that's screwed. Well, phallocentricity is the idea that we center aspects of our culture and even our language around normalizing the idea of masculinity and penises, which aren't necessarily associated on a one-to-one basis. But you know, let's oversimplify things for the sake of the slow ones in the audience. You know, you have, for example, the word man, and then you have the word woman as a spin-off from it. That's not very respectful. But then on the other end, you have the people who spell it with a Y, and I don't know that they're much fun at parties. And then on the other hand, you have Pac-Man, Mrs. Pac-Man. It's not even Ms. Pac-Man. The fuck are you talking about? That's very disrespectful. It even extends to our architecture, okay? We are at the moment seated in the base of a giant erection. Okay? This is 100% fact, no one can argue this. By this metric, the most feminist society would be one that lived underground or inside of hills. And it's with that in mind that I want to nominate hobbits as the least sexist community on Earth. Well, Middle Earth. I mean, you never really see any lady hobbits in the movies, or in the books, or in weird fan fiction even. But, you know, I'm sure they're there. They're probably off holding public office, running large multinational corporations. That's just how the hobbits roll. Anyway, all this is to provide a basis for me to ask you kindly to respect my wishes regarding pornography. This is what I do in every show. Thanks to pornography, we have a term. A term is called chicks with dicks. And I would like to ask you, please to be a little less sexist about things. Chicks not blessed with a sacred vulva. And I am so sorry, I'm exhausted right now. That was meant to be not blessed with the sacred yoni, which is like an extra mystical term. And then go on to talk about Yanni the pianist and how that's different. The pianists are totally topical. Suffice it all to say, I'm not a very good mystic. But I felt like one for the last couple of weeks. I finally moved recently, and for the first time I'm paying for my own utility bills. And so when I go home, I turn on the lights, I turn up the heater, I just get all the taps running, and you know, I control all of these things. I am a goddess of the elements. It's one of the single most empowering experiences of your life. I recommend you all pay your utility bills. Not just because you'll feel better, but because you'll feel warmer. Yes. Thank you very much. And that's all we have time for. No. So, do any of you know what a YouTube is? You look pretty out of it. You heard of this obscure website called a YouTube? Am I audible most of the time here? Not very good with microphones. I'm told this is a hot mic, which I was then also told means that it's muffled. I think muffling is bad, maybe? Anyway, YouTube has changed the world, and not for the better, and I'll tell you why. There are people alive today who will one day die. Well, there are a lot of people alive today who will one day die, but there are people alive today, people who have grown pubic hair today, who will one day die, and when they die, they will go to heaven. At the gates of heaven, they will have to proudly announce, "My greatest accomplishment in life was critiquing anime and talking over footage of Super Mario Brothers. I made a living off of this." These people deserve nothing more than our pity. And I guess our money. Anyway, all this is to let you know that our culture, our mass media, everything, the whole gamut, I had a pronunciation guide, we're screwed. All of this stuff is completely doomed, okay? Did anyone watch the recent hit film, The Hobbit? This is as close to topical as I get, okay? 2 months ago. Movie that no one watched, this obscure indie movie, no one saw The Hobbit, okay. Well, it's a movie about this short guy, possibly named Martin Freeman. Very nice dude. Stealing a ring and fighting a dragon or something. I don't know if you can hear me ever. Anyway, this Hobbit movie was bothering me the whole time I was watching it, and I realized finally what it was that all of the dwarves, every character, the elves, I could make sense of, but the dwarves, these tough fighting guys, this ancient wizard, all of them had their eyebrows waxed by the exact same stylist, immaculately, and it didn't make any sense. Everything in this world is just too perfect, and even in the fight scenes, a man falling down a river in a barrel can bounce onto either side of the bank and, without actually trying anything, disarm an entire gang of orcs. It's too perfect. And what I think it comes down to is The Matrix was this revolutionary movie back in 1999 that was sort of known for action sequences like that, where everyone was doing everything super awesome. It was great. But it was also a movie about people living inside of a computer who uploaded programs into their brain that made them supernaturally good martial artists. Whereas The Hobbit was not. The only thing we should have inherited from The Hobbit, which remember, 1999, you'd think we'd have had more sea changes in action movies since then. 1999, all we should have taken was that thing where they take a single moment in time and have a bunch of angles for it. That was really cool. And I've always been completely baffled why they didn't have more shots like that in pornography, where a lady would finally get to dodge at the end. And then you could just let it die. Just like Office Space. I want you to note, okay, that movie came out 16 years ago, okay? 16 years. Could you hold up that many fingers?
We can't do it.
Quitters. 16 years ago. And everyone in my office wants everyone else to know that they saw the movie, wants to remind them of the very funny jokes that they've reminded them of every day for the last 16 years. You don't need to remind this anymore. It's been etched into my memory. I only saw the movie once. I can recite it from memory because of my kill them all. Old jokes, overused jokes, my second least favorite thing in the world. Second least favorite thing in the world, ladies and gentlemen. Does anybody want to have a guess at what the least favorite thing, unfavorite numero uno is?
Me.
Yes, I guess.
No.
Stolen jokes.
Oh. It's impolite to say. I was going to pretend it was something else. You've completely ruined my joke. My least favorite thing in the world is stolen jokes, okay? Let's get that on the table. Stolen jokes, I hate them, okay? That's what we call the setup setup, punchline. Has anyone else ever noticed that there's 7 words you can't say on television? Obama looks like he eats good pussy. Everyone thinks it, nobody says it. You ever notice there's 130,000 words you can't say on North Korean television? No, but seriously, I love this country, ladies and gentlemen, like a woman, in the sense that I do it from a distance and without ever verbally acknowledging it, just in case they think I'm weird.
I relate to that.
Oh. I don't blame you, I'm fabulous. You know, our job market in this country isn't doing so hot, but the unpaid internship market is through the fucking roof, right? America #1! I always knew from an early age I was going to have to work really hard and dedicate myself and screw my way to the top. Sorry. Sorry, Mom. Thank you for coming out, by the way. I always knew from an early age I was going to have to apply myself so that I could be the first member of my family to get into clown college. That was my grandpa's dream from an early age. He used to sit me on his knee and say, boy, well, he was blind as a bat, just for clarity. He used to sit me on his knee and say, boy, the hardest thing about being a horse thief was half of the commute. He wasn't a horse thief. I don't know how he learned this. He'd never been west of Maine. Guy passed away recently, left me some presents. He left me a robotic butler. It was a really realistic thing, very wonderful. It could do anything a human could, really. Except one day, I would have brought him in to show you all. He did a great impression of Stephen Fry. But I brushed against the self-destruct button one day when I was cleaning him, because you still got to do that. And he immediately started smoking and binge drinking. I actually got a call from the county's delinquent tax advisor today. Apparently she was caught skipping class again. I'm going to leave you lovely people soon, but I want you all to know some things about me before I go. I've never been very good at pillow talk, and that's why I had to go back to sleeping with humans. I've never been very good at pillow talk. I like you, so I'm just going to talk to you. I've never been very good at pillow talk. Third time I've said that. Because it's really hard to articulate anything through a giant rubber ball gag. I practice safe sex, and I think I'm getting pretty good at it. I practice safe sex, and that's why I keep getting kicked out of the bank. Well, anyway, now that I've brought the energy up so I'm gonna let you have Missy back. She's probably gonna sing things in a silly voice. Is that? Hey, I can't wait to hear it. Please, here's Missy Moreno.